Good morning, Airbus Cockpit Coach here. Welcome to another live stream. Here we are in London Luton, ready to head off to Naples, as promised. The Airbus A320 Fenix CFM engine variant, and we're flying EasyJet standard SOPs. We're live on VATSIM, taking EZY 90 Kilo Delta across Europe, across the Alps, down into Italy, with a scenic approach, or a mountainous approach, for into Naples. Let's jump in, get loaded up, and take a look at the flight plan. Okay, let's topic safety check. So we've got the throttles idle, engine masters off, levers down, wipers are in the off position, and battery voltages are looking good. Okie dokes. So we'll get the power on. Ground power on. The IRS is aligning. I'll let the warning computers do their thing. Bells, I'm a logo. Armed. Down a bit. And come across, and we'll put in our flight plan over here. SX hopefully doing its thing. Oh, it has been playing up a bit recently. Okay, that's the warning computers on, and we'll get the APU fire checked. Lights, master, caution, ECAM. And we can do the engines while we're here as well. Squib lights, master caution, ECAM, Still lights. Same on that side. Excellent. All looking good there. Got the AP fired up now.
Passengers bus is coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board our EasyJet service. Please place your large
Nav database is in date. Fill in the flight plan. So we're EZY 90 Kilo Delta.
Handbags, duty-free and loose items of clothing. Once you have safely stowed your cabin bag,
Cost index. Cross check. It should be 4 for an EasyJet standard, but not that one. Pilot brief. Cost index 4, cruising 390 at -52.
no smoking service. Thank you for observing this policy.
-6 here on the ground at the moment. Tropopause 32,235. Is in the box. Not that one. We'll put in the winds. Howdy, hi. Thanks for joining. You're enjoying the tutorials, are you? Yep, loads more of those coming. I quite enjoy making the quick tutorials. So you know, just trying to think of things that would help me if I was reasonably new to the aircraft. So, yep, more to come on those. There's loads more we can do on that front. Folks, raining here. So I'm not too far from Luton. This is my base. There has been a bit of rain overnight, but not currently raining 45 minutes away anyway, but it wouldn't surprise me, UK weather. So we're expecting to come out. We've had a bit of a wind change by the looks of the last overnight, so departing 07 on the Rodney 1 Charlie. Rodney 1 Charlie, insert, and we're hopefully arriving Naples, 1,051 miles later onto 24 on the Erica 1 Bravo. Which one it was? Erica 1 Bravo. Okay. That one. The distance, calculating 1050, 1051. Yep, that's pretty much spot on. Just fine. So, fuel is still hopefully being loaded in, but we'll have to take a look at our alternate fuel. Is 1.6 tons. It's taking us to Rome. So we'll chuck 1.6 in. Block that out there. The fueling is in progress. Let's wait for the weights to come across. So we look at the weather. Let's have a. So in Napoli at the moment, Naples, we've got variable 2 knots, good visibility, scattered. 5,000, 16 degrees, 1008 on the pressure, no significant weather. And the wind's increasing as we go into the day. Nothing scary. Diversion, Rome, currently 230 at 11, good visibility, no significant weather there, so it's a good diversion. And here in Luton, 350, 10 knots, variable, visibility is 8,000 metres, and a light rain showers overcast 500 feet, so be nice to get out of here, won't it? Well for the NITAMs, but anything that's going to be exciting there. Let's have a quick look outside, make sure GSX is doing its thing. There we go, we've got fuel going in. Passengers going in, excellent. On for more than 3 minutes, so we'll get the APU.
Welcome on board your
Transfer the bus over.
Please place any small items of hand baggage under the seat in front of you. Or large
Start to look at our
items in overhead lockers. To help us get away on time, please keep the aisle clear to
Departure.
allow other customers to board. As we are refueling, please keep your seatbelt unfastened until the seatbelt
expecting taxi Delta Alpha Bravo, Bravo 1. 07. Hotspot en route, hotspot 1. There. This route hotspot. And the Rodney 1 Charlie, so we take around and down. Stop climb is 5,000 on that one, so we can get that in. FCU. Burn that weather and the pressure. 1023. Let's press that. 1023. 1023 set 3 times, and we're out. Aerodrome altitude is checked. That's good. Fly pad. Best officer haven't shown up for work. Still refueling. We've got a bit to come on. What are we expecting? Let's go back to the operational flight plan. So we should be loading 9.8 tons. We're nearly there. We are live in Braxton, but I think we're pretty much alone here. This morning at Luton, UK 2000 scenery here. It's a good model. Okay, IRSs are aligned. Not on there, no differences there, so yeah, we're happy with the IRSs. Excellent. Waiting for boarding to complete so we can calculate departure performance and get underway. Quick scan through the flight plan, make sure we're a long-winded approach into Naples there. We may shortcut that a bit further down the line, sort that out en route. Fine. All depends on whether we've got ATC online and what they want to do with us as well. So 1228 Unicom's in the box. Let's just have a check on loading. Passengers are on, waiting for the cargo. Like fueling is just Completed. Alright, fueling is completed. Baggage is coming on. Okay, fine, we can get the pumps on in that case. And with that comes the seatbelts.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board our EasyJet service. Please place your large bags into the overhead locker, wheels first, and keep your small items under the seat in front of you. These include laptops, handbags, duty-free, and loose items of clothing. Once you have safely stowed your cabin bag, please take your seat. To help us ensure a prompt departure, we would kindly ask that you keep the aisle clear, enabling all remaining customers to board. Your seatbelt can now be fastened ready for departure. This is a no-smoking service. Thank you for observing this policy.
Engine out tracking. What runway heading there? And once we're loaded, I'll do that once we're loaded. I'll pulls the weights over as well. Let's wait for that baggage to get on. Come on, get a shifty on. A prelim flight plan. Almost got accurate figures, so we'll put those in just a moment. Okay, we can brief up the departure while we're waiting. So it's a left-hand seat departure today. We're planning 07. It's wet. Performance is still to be calculated. We do have a hotspot 1 on our way out. Engine out. SID is straight ahead 25 miles and hold, but we are able to come straight back around. We'll make an overweight landing in the event of a fire. Back into Luton if necessary. Although it's wet, the winds are light and not too much of a factor. Other London airports are available with longer runways should we need them. So, entering takeoff runway 07 via Bravo. It's the Rodney 1 Charlie departure. Stop climb is 5,000. MSA is 2,200 and 9.8 tons of fuel on board. Just waiting to calculate that against our weights. In terms of threats, so VATSIM uncontrolled airport today. Obviously it's wet conditions and we've got no air traffic control online currently. And in terms of our arrival, it'll be terrain, but nothing too out of the ordinary for a London Luton departure. We've got a serviceable aircraft, no non-standard operations, so I think that concludes the initial briefing. Should anything change, we will rebrief. It's taking a long time to get this baggage on, isn't it? Come on, guys. Last bag, come on. Get it on there. Come on. Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board our EasyJet service. Please place your large bags into the overhead locker.
Aircraft loaded. Right, we'll send those weights over to the MCDU.
In front of you. These include laptops, handbags, duty-free, and loose items of clothing. Once you have
Weight
safely
sheet there,
secured
60.3,
to help us ensure a prompt departure.
0.3, and 324 cross checks. Flight plan load sheet accepted.
Can now be fastened.
Performance.
This is a no smoking service. Thank you for observing this policy.
So we are Luton 07. We are wet. Sync the load sheet. I'm going to calculate it with packs on. Bit of extra margin. Sync live weather. And
We will shortly be closing the door.
yeah, it'll have to be full length.
Final calls or messages.
Calculate that.
Electronic devices may be used at all times if they are in flight.
Lexing 49, 1 down 3, 118, 146, 146. Okay, so that's the MCDU.
Damaged or overheating, please inform us immediately.
Excellent, and we can get pushing back. Okay, before start checklist, parking brake is set. Takeoff data is confirmed. Windows are closed. Doors are closed and armed, and beacon is on. Networks, there's no one about, so only departure from Luton at the moment, so that's fine. We'll make our calls, it's good practice though. Luton traffic, easy, 90 Kilo Delta, push and start, stand 408 Luton.
Locking gear.
I'm using the mini FCU, so that'll be my primary control for this piece up here. So we need to go nose left, tail right here.
Release parking brakes.
Parking brake released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Engine mode selector start. Starting 1, engine master
Cabin crew, doors to automatic and cross-check.
on for engine 1. Not the chrono. N2 rise. Ignition B. Got the pressure. Fuel's going in.
Boys and girls, good morning. A very warm welcome.
We have ignition. We've got exhaust gas temperature rise.
Welcome to our EasyJet Plus cardholders. If you would like to know more about this service, please do not hesitate to ask any of your crew throughout the flight. My name is Nolan. It's my pleasure to introduce the rest of the crew today. Working with me at the front, we have Tim. Joining you very shortly at the centre, we have Carl. Art. Down the back today, we have John. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here for your comfort, but primarily for your safety. With that in mind, we do ask, indeed we require, the 2 minutes of your time, but most importantly, your attention.
Good start on 1. Vital starting 2.
A320, thank you.
Barking dog.
Set parking brakes.
Please pay
Parking brake set.
attention to illuminated signs and crew instructions, including the following safety procedures. The safety card found in your
EGT rise. That's the light up.
important information about exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets, and the brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 8 emergency exits on this aircraft. The cabin crew are now pointing out the exits nearest to you. Beware that your nearest usable exit may be behind you. Emergency lighting will guide you to an exit. In an emergency, leave all baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted.
Tow truck disconnected.
Engine 2 available. Mode selected to norm. After start flow, if you can come off. Strobes armed. We don't need terrain here at Luton. That's
The air supply fails.
round clutter surveillance off. Set we are flaps config 1. We can get that. We'll get that all on because we're single crewed, so save something later. Okay, so we are down 3 on the trim.
If we land on water, take a life jacket from under your
We can do. There's our pin. So thank you for that. He's showing us the pins we've seen. And we'll do our flight control checks. So rudder full right,
and click together.
full left, neutral,
To adjust.
elevators full down,
Do not inflate it.
full up,
The air.
neutral,
When outside, inflate
ailerons,
the toggle. If it fails to inflate or needs toggling,
left,
blow into
and neutral.
There is a light and whistle for attracting attention. The cabin crew.
Blunt and get some.
Your tray table must now be stowed, armrest down.
Using traffic. EZY 90 Kilo Deltas taxiing runway 07, holding point Bravo 1 via Delta and Bravo. Luton.
We hope you have a great flight.
Working brake released. Oh, I've hit the switching panel down here, haven't I? Alright. Spool them up. Toby eye tracker is coming on. Brake pressure. Pressure 0. Clear left side and clear right side. Just got to watch the wet conditions there. You do notice that in flight sim, it does model that only deteriorates your braking and turning performance quite significantly in wet conditions.
Hello, it's Nolan. That's the cabin secure for takeoff.
You Sean, see you in the cruise. Okay, no changes to departure performance. It's 1023, temperature remains the same. Engine out, SID straight ahead, 25 miles and hold, but we'll come back straight back around for a more urgent issue, such as engine fire. Departure is the Rodney 1 Charlie, stop climb is 5,000, but we've got an initial restriction of 4,000, which is magenta. Speeds 118 blue, 146 magenta. Climb nav blue, 1 FD2. Checked. So we are 70 tons, we're quite heavy today. Be 10 knots for this turn in these conditions. Clear left side and clear right side. Now, these kind of conditions, you know, you'd be taxiing out thinking, yeah, wet, heavy. Is toga a good idea for takeoff? And we may make an on-the-spot decision to go toga for safety. Depending on how much standing water we have on the runway, that kind of thing, or taxiing. So I'm looking forward to the A319 from Fenix coming out. That's same engine, smaller aircraft. It's a little rocket, A319, compared to the other variants. Bit noisier in the cockpit. Closer to the engines. Yeah, it's quite fun to fly the A319. Shame they're getting phased out. Generally, they're older now, and there's plans to replace them in a lot of fleets. But they've got their place. They're certainly fun to fly. Okay, so we are TARA. Do our line-up checklist now. Cabin is secure for takeoff. Takeoff for runway 07 confirmed. TCAS is TARA, and PAX 1 and 2 we will take off. Rain is quite persistent, reasonable amount of standing water, therefore we'll go toga for takeoff. Luton traffic, EZY 90 Kilo Delta is departing runway 07, Rodney 1 Charlie departure, Luton. Nothing on TCAS, I can't see much of the approach, but no lights, nothing coming in there, so yep, TCAS clear. Cabin crew, seats for takeoff please, seats for takeoff. Oh, someone's coming over there. That's distracted me. Making a radio call though. Let's have a look. Okay. Over the runway though, just...
Heathrow traffic, shuttle through Romeo just past Bovington for a 27 right approach.
So we should have had our lights on here. So distracted by that aircraft there. So, click spots, click spots. Okay, good to go. Let's take it rolling. EGT stable. Mantoga SRS runway, also thrust blue. Getting a bit of a right rudder there. $100 knots. B1. Rotate. In the breeze there. I mean, it's taking the rudder out. It really doesn't like that in flight sim when you lift off and take the rudder out. Positive climb, gear up. Pushing for 15. AP1. Climb. Lever climb. Thrust climb, climb. Auto thrust. Back 1. Icing conditions, engine anti-ice on. Pack 2. I'm going to pull speed here, as we've got a bit of a tight turn, so hold speed 190, and we'll maintain flaps 1 for this turn. Speed alt start, and we'll continue the climb up to flight level 100. Cross climb, open climb, flight level, standard set, passing 3.8 now, cross check 3 times. Yeah, if we let the aircraft accelerate to 250 knots, we'd struggle to keep the track of this turn and would be out wide. And we can start increasing speed now, slowly. Speed checks, flaps up. And we'll battery manage speed now. Acceleration. Out of icing conditions, engine anti-ice off. Landing lights can come off. We've disarmed the ground spoilers, up the Chevrolet there. I'm gonna have to play around with the rudder a bit. It's a bit of an issue for me on takeoff, so I'm not sure if that's my settings or flight simism, but it's not particularly realistic. You hold the rudder in, you take it out, the plane rocks all over the place. Maybe my settings. I have taken SDS off on the rudder dampening system. Yeah, I need to have a play with that. I've been trying out also having a go of the engine out departure. I have the same issue. It's flyable, but one to watch. Right, we'll continue the climb up. 350 blue. 390. Upper climb. Passing 100. So nice clear air up here now, so seatbelts can come off. Standard pressure and the altimeters are ready. Cabin altitude's climbing, and it's in expected pressure there, so that's looking good. Quick check of spy. Make sure we're not upsetting anybody. Busting airspace. Nobody around, and we're climbing up well. Let's have a look. We've got to give ourselves a shortcut here. I've turned to Bembo, direct. Hello Sonny. Hope you're well.
Heathrow traffic, shuttle 3 Romeo is turning right for ILS runway 27, 15 miles.
So we're above Heathrow's traffic now, so we're not going to interfere with them. And the best point to pass an aerodrome is more or less overhead, so that traffic's going to be 2,500 from this side, for the 9s, and landing easterly. So yeah, we're not going to interfere with Heathrow. Take an early turn to the south. So secondary flight plan with plus 100, we can delete the engine out secondary, recopy the active, so that's in there should we have any issues with the active flight plan, and we can zero out the cost index for climb now. That's our best rate up. Take a look outside. West London. Sorry, East London. Heathrow just under there somewhere, I think.
Future traffic is simple for Delta at 2200 over the Oka for Island 27 left.
I find Windsor. So Windsor will be down here somewhere. Might be under the cloud. That's Windsor Castle there. Is it? No. Is it? No, it's not. Further in. There's Heathrow, just there. Windsor Castle will be somewhere around here, right on the approach. That's Legoland there, I think. Find the castle, but yeah, the cloud's not helping me today. Yep, Heathrow's down there. I've got the Indibuild Heathrow installed, so it's a good scenery. Sightseeing.
Future traffic, Springbok 44 Delta and left on 1100 for Island at 27 right.
Been just to the east of Gatwick as well. Echo Golf Kilo Kilo. Well clear of their airspace now. 3,000 feet. Not upsetting anyone here. Out the window, see if we can see anything of Gatwick. window. This is one of the benefits of flight sim, which you don't get being a pilot, is you get able to look at your aircraft from this angle, which is nice. I think Gatwick's under the cloud there as well. South coast coming up. Tower controllers are come on for Heathrow and Gatwick now. An eye on the cabin pressure. Doing what we expect. Bit of a tailwind component here. Unusual wind direction for the UK. That's the opposite to the prevailing wind. Wind is coming from the northeast. South coast of the UK coming up. Let's have a look. Yeah, pretty much over it now. Here we go. Not beach weather today, unfortunately. It's a bit nippy. 6 degrees on the ground at Luton. It's not particularly great for this time of year, is it? Bit of high level moisture there, but yeah, we're outside of icing now, so it's fine. And what's the weather like in Naples? Let's have a look. Only 13 degrees there at the moment. I suppose it's reasonably early. I'd expect it to be a bit warmer than that, to be honest. So that's quite cold for this time of year, 13. Look at the routing. It's better on day or no? Definitely not day. Night. Let's have a look. So take Luton off. Where are we? So routing takes us past Paris. south of Geneva into Italy. And down towards the west coast, enter there as we get towards Naples. So we're avoiding Swiss airspace. We've got obviously a higher altitude area, sorry, high terrain area here around Geneva. As we pass it, we'll be close to Mont Blanc, the highest point of the Alps. So that's something we need to consider. If we zoom in here, probably give us some exciting minimum. It's an altitude 18,200, yeah, on the route there. Something we need to bear in mind should a depressurization occur. The normal airspace like now, should we have a decompressurization, we'd be going down to 10,000 feet. We're obviously not going to do that over Geneva. So we need to plan our escape from the mountains and know which way to turn to be able to achieve the lower altitude as quickly as possible. There's only about 13 minutes of usable oxygen for the passengers, because their oxygen is generated through a chemical reaction. So when you pull your oxygen mask on, two chemicals react to produce oxygen, and that only lasts for so long. Whereas the pilot's oxygen is from a cylinder. We've got cylinders close to the cockpit which feed our oxygen. It's a different supply and will last longer. We need to consider how we're going to get down to 10,000 feet before the passenger oxygen runs out. About 70 miles to of climb at impacts. Cruising 390, which is the ceiling of the Airbus A320 CFM variant. At this point we would normally be considering ordering ourselves a coffee. Unfortunately I do not have any flight attendants to do that for me today, so I may have to go make my own. We're 22 degrees across the board. Only maybe a little bit low in the cockpit. It gets too stuffy. You know, you can operate for your concentration level, so I normally drop it a little bit more than that. Adjusted that down now, so we'll get some cooler air into the cockpit. So we set the temperature here, so what we set on these knobs up here, these controllers, obviously alters the amount of hot or cold air coming in, and then within the cabin they also have a control which allows them to alter that by 2.5 degrees either way. So whilst we've got 22 here, they can obviously increase that or still decrease that with a 2.5 degree tolerance either way. Done through their screen in the front of the cabin. That cloud's clearing up. We may get some good views of Paris as we head down. Southbound routing always takes you pretty close to Paris, so depending on where you're going in Europe, if you're going into Spain, you're usually a bit further over to the west and don't see Paris, but if you're going Geneva, Italy, places like that, you're usually pretty close. You take the closer track, which is literally just to the west of the city, so you get to see the Eiffel Tower and all the sights on a clear day. It's nice, and we may have that today. Close to France. Still in the climb. It's a slow old climb. The Airbuses are generally a bit slower than the 737s. I believe slight edge on efficiency. Not so sure about the max, but yeah, generally the cruising speeds of the Airbus is slightly lower than the 737. Got a slightly lower ceiling as well, but they're an efficient aircraft. And for that reason, the go-to choice for a lot of airlines. A company message. Easy ops. Delay of 12 minutes. Maybe we'll make that up. Look at that. Slight tailwind component. It's be more of a crosswind. Keeping an eye on the fuel. Currently an extra 36 minutes once we get there, so more than enough to shoot another approach if we need to. We're having delays there, so that's 36 minutes, and then after that 36 minutes we still have enough fuel to get us to Rome should we need to. But over there as a diversion. Now this situation here isn't particularly normal. That's unrealistic. So I would not expect our speed to be creeping down into this range at the moment. What that's telling me, though the flight plan hasn't given us, it's saying we're above our max, which the flight plan we shouldn't be, so that's slightly unrealistic there. That may kick the autopilot out. See what happens. Can do. Decrease the rate of climb. 300. Yeah, that's a little bit unrealistic. So this weight, up star, I would expect to be able to achieve 390 no problem. Not be anywhere near that orange band. Mach cruise. Now the winds are in our favour on that. If the winds change, that could have an issue, cause us an issue. That's Coffin's Corner. That's called. That's this gap here. Approaching Paris. Take a look at that in a moment as we get a bit closer. A few clouds around there. Take a look outside as we get closer to the city. See the river there that winds through Paris. clearly from up here. So we've got Charles de Gaulle is over here, over on the northeastern side of the city. We've got Paris Orly Airport down here, which we'll get quite close to, almost overfly to the southwest. Get the TCAS onto below now, and we'll just run through our system checks, make sure they're right as we've reached cruise. So a few issues. It's a bit of a flight planning issue there, hasn't given us our step climbs. Not to worry, the situation's improving in speed. There's Paris Orly down there, coming up on the nose. Central Paris, what can we see? Can we see anything? The monuments and things pop in as you fly over normally. I've often wondered what this place is. I'm not sure. Some kind of famous place over here. It's a nice stately home with some huge gardens and on the edge of the city there. Getting the frames a bit right. So some of the monuments dropping in. Skyscrapers and things. There's the Eiffel Tower. It's there. See that? Passengers will be getting a good view, so we can jump in, have a look from their perspective. Our airfield down there. All up there, big old airport. So, bar is at the top. Paris Orly Airport coming up by the engine here as well, so big old airport. Hi EJ pilot, hope you're well. Left turn, just to help the views out a bit. Excellent. Quick check on the old VAT spy. Nothing around. A bit of traffic around. No controllers online. I'm going to grab myself a EasyJet coffee from the back. So I've had my menu items back. Got myself a cup of English tea in the end. A sandwich. Making good progress. We'll take another shortcut here. Let's go direct to Mockib. ATC online. $130 so miles from Geneva. Yeah, so as soon as that A319 drops, I'll be in that. Easy ops in the A319. Be checking that out. I'm looking forward to that. Fenix. At this point in the cruise, we're looking through flight plan, cross-checking fuel, making sure we've got no leaks. Everything's where we would have the paper flight plan up normally, or ticking it off the fuel at each waypoint. The first officer most likely be doing that, or the pilot not flying, whoever that is on the particular day. Cross-checking the fuel, we'll be flicking through the system pages, making sure that there's nothing abnormal. Fairly mundane in the cruise, but yeah, it's all about thinking ahead. Also looking for diversions en route, so our en route diversions. Geneva would be a good option coming up ahead. Do I need to turn my config on data log? Be sure I got my hobbies code in there. We'll give it a go. See if I can pull up some weather. The request for Lima Sierra Golf Golf. We'll take the meter for now. Turn that off. See how that works. Weather data received. Okay, excellent. So weather in Geneva 050 at 17, so it's pretty breezy down there, but view at 3,500 feet, broken 5,000, temperature 7, dew points -2, 1013, so it's pretty cold over Europe, isn't it? I expect to be a bit warmer. I've flown to Geneva recently, and it was in, you know, I think we had about 20 degrees. So yes, it's a bit of a chilly day over Europe. I think it must be that. Northerly wind. Generally, when looking at diversions, you're sort of looking at the sort of airports 100 miles out. Realistically, to get down from this altitude is going to take us 120, 130 miles, so Geneva's at the 80-mile mark, but obviously we can put in turns and so forth with air traffic control to give us track miles should we need it. So yeah, we're sort of not looking at necessarily what we're right on top of. It's more about the sort of the 100-mile range for diversions. Geneva's actually one of my favourites to fly into. It's got a nice approach from both ends. Obviously the terrain is a factor as you approach from any direction into Geneva. But yeah, nice lake approach from one side, and you have a very long sort of 17 to 20 mile approach from the other end due to the terrain. It can be quite scenic there, landing at Geneva. One of my favourites. See the terrain slowly starting to pick up a bit ahead, beneath the clouds though, in the cloud layer, but being a little bit more hilly as we head closer to the Alps, Geneva and Mont Blanc. I think that's the Lake of Geneva, perhaps down there I can see these darker areas. The second one, I think, is the mountain range before the lake, and then the lake's behind. Geneva's pretty much on the nose. Hopefully we'll get a view of that shortly. We did a live stream over to Geneva and another one back a week ago. Okay, terrain radar on. We need to consider that as a factor and a risk. Should we have a decompressurization, so we need to be aware of the high terrain beneath us. We're entering a minimum safe altitude zone of 18,200 feet. Which is the highest point in Europe. Here's the Lake of Geneva. You can see the runway there. It's just sort of going underneath the cloud, the long runway. It's the Lake of Geneva, and this is some of the terrain. You need to cross over as you come in, so see the Alps coming up here. Look like clouds, I guess, hiding in amongst the cloud there, but. Runway there. Nice part of the world. Popular destination all year round. Skiing in the winter, and it's, you know, the lakes and the mountains still popular in the summer. So a lot of flights in and out of Geneva. A regular stop for us. Airport down there. So I have got I think it's the Red Wing Scenery Geneva installed down there for Geneva. Quite a good one. It's a little bit frame intensive, but it's very realistic. So if you've got a decent system and handle it, it's worth getting that one. The next thing to look at is the mountains. So we have a few aircraft around us at the moment. So got some traffic around. Targets come up 1,000 below. Off the right side. Where? Turn to us. We'll take a look on the old VAT spy, see who's out and about. Okay, so we've got a tap auto to Zurich. On our right side, he is below. Traffic inbound Geneva. There he is. Crossing behind, 1,000 below, and here's the mountains. in Mont Blanc. There's one of these, I think it might be that one there. Not too sure myself. I think it is that one. It does overlook Geneva. Tracking view for the passengers today. It all looks like ski conditions down there. I thought that would be clearing up. Snow, but yeah, it's pretty cold down there. Looks like the Geneva weather, but yeah, approaching end of April. I've got Rex AcCUE season on, so I'm maybe modelling true to life conditions here, but the seasons and so forth. So maybe having an impact on what we're seeing, but. Obviously this part of the Alps, due to the height, are always pretty snowy, but some of the valleys there are snowed out as well. crossing into Italy shortly. You can see the coastline of Italy as well coming up on the rain radar. We start our journey down the western side of Italy. It's real world weather we got on at the moment, so yeah, real world weather on VATSIM, EZY 90 Kilo Delta. Clouding up a bit over Italy. Expecting Naples at 11:23 UTC. An hour and 15 minutes away. We're coming over the other side of the Alps now. High terrain is now behind us. Coastline ahead, so we move down. Move down south. checking conditions on the ground in the Milan area. .509 knots, variable or the 9s. Few at 2,000 feet, scattered 8,000. Temperatures 10. 1008, no significant weather. So the Milan area is a good one for a diversion. Also check out Lima India Romeo Papa. Very similar weather to Milan, so that's not an issue. And we can have a quick look. Conditions in Naples. Weight 0, 10 knots, the variable, the 9's broken 3,500. Temperature 16, no significant weather, so it's warmed up a little bit. We've got a tailwind component. Only a 25 knot. Pretty good looking clouds there. That does look pretty realistic. We have got real world failures on, so anything can fail at any time. I have had a few failures in the Phoenix, mostly hydraulic systems. I've had a green and a blue hydraulic failure. One was on the ground, one was in the air. We're at the cabin altitude of 8,000 feet, which is actually the upper limit in automatic mode when the system's in automatic on pressurization, so hence why we have a service ceiling of 3990, which we're at today. So that all makes sense. Heat PSI, pressure. Still have 34 minutes of fuel to play with on arrival. No concerns fuel-wise. We got light rain showers now in Rome as our alternate, and the wind's 240 at 15 according to this. So conditions for the alternate have deteriorated slightly. One to keep an eye on. Just make out some of the coastline there. A bit of the more mountainous terrain in the background as we come down the north western coast of Italy, heading inland shortly. top of descent, just coming onto the screen, so it's about 130 miles out. I will grab another cup of tea and start looking into the charts and planning for our arrival and briefing. Okay, I've just verified the landing runway is runway 24 in the real world at Naples. So let's have a look at the first thing we'll do. We'll get the pressure in the box. So we're 1008 currently for Naples, so it's quite a big drop between the actual arrival. Right, 1008 in there. And for pressurization and descent planning, 1008 is in the box. Temperature is 16 and 270 at 14. Okay. You're landing in this direction, coming along 24, so it'll be a vacate left. Just confirm we had the Echo 1 Bravo, that's correct. Echo 1 Bravo, that's the plate we need. We'll be coming along here. We have got this full approach. We can fly, or we can shortcut ourselves and go direct to Romeo November 727, as long as we can stay above this terrain. So it's a little bit tricky in terms of terrain. So it's quite a long-winded procedure to get in and around. We've got Mount Vesuvius here, 4,202 feet, which will be on our port side, our left side on the approach into Naples. So in terms of this arrival, lots of restrictions. We've got speed restrictions and so forth, and that's all to do with terrain, so we need to keep an eye on that. And our approach, the ILS Zulu B4, and again we need to watch these platform altitudes here as we come in, so we've got sufficient terrain clearance on the arrival and the approach. Localizer intercepts 2,200 feet at sea, so standard straight in. 540 minimums today, so we can get the box on Barrow. We'll go config full, 141, lowest selectable is currently 136. And let's just make sure we got the... want to get the Zulu in to match the plate. ILS Zulu 24. Insert that. And I'm going to put a radius in around the airport, 30 miles, for helps with descent planning. Clear out that one. Mile radius. Let's see where we need to be in terms of even a bit. So Pazub is where we want to be, about flight level 100 ideally, if we're going to shortcut. We go Pazub, Romeo November 727. So we're going to clear out 71. It's for Bukov, Aldav, Loko, Anzom, Enzeb. That looks Yeah, that's what we want. Like that. That may have changed our top of descent point quite considerably. We look to be pads up 170 there. Let's just check our approach chart. Make sure we're not going to bust any restrictions. So 170 to 130 is the lowest. So if I aim to be 130 at the lowest at pads up, I think we'll hard code 130 instead. Yeah, this brings forward the top of descent even further, but it gets us down, allows us to meet our shortcutted route. The aerodrome itself is at 294 feet. Big drop down. We're based on 4 tons. Low water brake, idle reverse, probably go max, reverse max, but okay. Low water brake will be sufficient for this one. I can always go manual braking should we need to. Lap full, that's correct. By of just over 2 kilometres needed. A variable wind, I need to plan for a tailwind in worst case, so that's of a consideration. Just need to watch our approach speed, may have to add a few knots to that. We're drifting towards higher terrain again, we're at the centre spine of Italy almost, so we're working our way inland again. Quite thin at this point, so it's coast to coast. Again, in decompression event, we want to consider terrain. We'll be moving out west towards the coast. So shortly after our top of descent, so we'll brief it up. So we're left-hand seat arrival, landing ILS runway 24. Config full, we're calculated, we've got sufficient stop margin. Be full reverse thrust, low auto brake, and we'll be vacating to the left. There are a few hotspots around to take into consideration. We're on the Erica 1, a Bravo approach. We just need the MSA for the region, which is 8,400. Approach minimum we've set in at in the box at, oh no, we changed the runway, didn't we? So that's a good check. So ILS Zulu, approach minimum was 540, so that needs to go back in because we put the Zulu approach in. So 540 confirmed. Go around trajectory is continue running one way, heading climbing to 5,000 feet at 750 feet left turn, maximum speed 185, direct to our N706, and further course there. So yeah, initially 5,000, but make sure we get that turn 750, and that's a terrain avoidance turn. And extra fuel, 34 minutes. Okay, so we need to descend. Back descent, and we'll bring it down to flight level 200. Let's try chucking that in the mini FCU. Thrust idle. Cabin crew, top of descent. Okay, no standard. No non-standard operations. Aircraft is fully serviceable. Shouldn't be any changes. We'll rebrief. That's approach checklist complete. Other than threats in terms of we've got terrain, that's the key one, and also a VATSIM uncontrolled airport at the moment. Should that change, we can rebrief. Cabin altitude is decreasing as we'd expect. We'll do a quick check on traffic situation as we head down towards Naples. Nothing to affect at the moment, but there is some traffic that may meet us. That's slower traffic though. We may be next into Naples. Just ensure we put standard calls out on Unicom. And we'll get our constraints on for the descent. Starting to pick up a headwind now. So having put that sort of shortcut in, looking at the long-winded arrival, we're expecting landing at 11:12 UTC. 23 minutes till landing. Just checking we've got our altitude constraints correct here. We should be above, no lower than 7,000 at Ento as well. Right. Max 200 knots. Ento as well. Continue the descent down. And 30 into mini FCU. Down. 130 balloon. We are putting ourselves at a little bit of risk terrain wise by not following the full approach. Obviously the full approach is designed to step us down, avoiding terrain. So we're shortcutting, so this feature, this area of terrain here is going to be our main risk in terms of terrain. So once we get to is up, should take us more or less wide. We just need to watch our descent slowly so we don't get below 11,000 too early. Change to the weather. Still 1008, 270 at 14. Still current 16 degrees, I think it was, yep. Okay, 1008. Still applies. Left turn to pass up. Passing 18 for 1-3. Right, we're starting to see how much factor the terrain is around here. There's some high peaks coming up. We need to be vigilant to the terrain threat. Then you're down. The lower restriction at PASUP was 130, which we're at, and then we're going to not send below 11.0 until we're past this terrain. I'm going to pull speed on 220 knots now. With that, I'll activate the approach phase. Speed. India November Papa Lima is the localizer identifier we got on our screen. We cross check that. India November Papa Lima 1095. Inbound course 235, 234 on this. That was a flight sim difference. Yep, frequency checks. So we're just passing the highest point of terrain there. Start to send down shortly. Towards 70. Do need to watch this area here, terrain. Set 70 blue. Seatbelts on. Landing lights on now as well. Quick check of other traffic in the area as well. So it looks like we're next to land. An eye on our icing conditions here. We're entering a bit of moisture, so engine anti-ice is coming on.
We will shortly be landing. Please ensure your baggage and all personal belongings, including laptops, are safely stowed. Your tray table must be stowed, armrests down, window blinds open, and your seatbelt fastened ready for landing. Please review the safety card found in your seat pocket as it contains important safety information. In an emergency, leave all baggage on board. Please help us by handing in any rubbish, newspapers, or magazines that you do not want to take with you. The toilets can no longer be used.
There we go, manage speed, green dots, bring us back. Actually turning inbound the runway more or less now. There's some pretty fierce looking clouds around. Programming in some more of the restrictions there, so Romeo November 714 has 5,200 on the chart, so we're stepping down before intercepting the localizer. Clear terrain. Imagine this would be, well, this would be pretty bumpy in real world. Those clouds, you got the mountains, the wind variations, and the heating effect on the slopes of some of the mountains we're coming over. One downside of the sim, it doesn't seem to manage turbulence very well. You really get that effect, but come in time. Okay, we're coming through to transition, so we can pull 1008, set once, twice, and 3 times. 7. Is still in icing conditions. Gradual descent down. We've still got a peak to get ourselves over. Inbound there. Maximum speed at the next waypoint would be 185. So we need to go flaps 1 now. Speed checks, flaps 1. And 185 is pretty much our speed. Going to pull speed 180. Lots of peaks around here. Lots of cloud, so there's some terrain just hiding in between these clouds. So it's quite a dangerous area if you don't follow the restrictions. There you go. It's the last peak we come over before we go into Naples. But yeah, gotta watch it. Gotta watch the restrictions. Okay, speed checks maps 2.
2,500.
Pilot 1 and 2, Cap 3, dual, lock, glow slope star. There's no DME on this runway, so otherwise don't have that. Speed back further, 160. Sails going down. Cabin crew, seats for landing, please. Seats for landing. Check. Wind on the nose. Runway insights, 12 o'clock. Bit in icing conditions. As mentioned, this is a payware airport I've got installed for Naples. So let's mount Vesuvius over there. That side. Reviews of that today. It is. Okay, we'll go gear down. The speed brake. Yeah, coming out of icing conditions.
2,500.
Flaps free. B checks flaps free. Manage speed. And speed checks. Laps full. Vesuvius in the background. Nice. The wind just right of nose. Landing checklist, cabin secure, go around altitude 3000 sets, landing memo, ECAM no blue. All that remains is for recording to come on. Boarding set.
1000.
Check. Autopilot coming out. My control. At 1. Two whites, 2 reds. About 19 knot wind, coming around more to the right side now. Right of nose, got a bit of a crab angle on.
$500. 100 above. Minimum.
Done you. Reverse diesel spoilers. 80 knots. 70 knots, sorry. Manual braking. Welcome to Naples. No traffic behind. We'll take the next one. Bit of a hard left rudder required there. Sort of crosswind. I was looking at the windsock over there. It's blowing alright. Now stop the replay. Put that in a minute. Right. Off that, off that, off. That off, start that. Cleaned up.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten
Left side, right
is
side.
switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls or internet access may now be used. Please make sure that you take all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat and in the overhead lockers. Do take care when opening the lockers in case anything falls out. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area. On behalf of the captain,
Aircraft just
spawned
in there.
Our ground crew will help you complete your EasyJet journey. For the latest news, promotions, flight...
Tell you what, we'll take this one over here.
Check out our official Facebook page, Twitter, or EasyJet app.
Off. Reset that. Looks like they expected me to go over there. Okay, put the part brake on. Before I do anything else, I'm going to disconnect from the network. Leave the replay. Let's take a look at that. Oh, there we go. Mount Vesuvius in the background. Excellent. Let's just wind that back and have another look. Get that one out again. We're a bit... That crosswind was impacting there, but... Martin, yeah, I mean, instead of resizing my screen, I'm on a wide screen, so I think if you turn landscape, depends what you're viewing it on, but I'm on ultra wide, so it's a bit tricky. Scaling down. Right, where's my controls? There we go. Resume replay. I'd rather in there. Yeah, if I take the logos out, Martin, it's not, the logos are only there because it's, if I stretch up, the view is stretched, so it's downscaling without stretching. Otherwise, it looks a bit odd. That's the disadvantage of downscaling from an ultra wide, unfortunately. Run that through. There we go. Hope you enjoyed that. Put down on stand, but reasonably long one today. But welcome to Naples. So enjoyed that. It's a nice scenic approach there with Mount Vesuvius in the background. Get a screenshot of that one. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I have to do another leg. Maybe again later today, later in the week. But I've also got some more videos coming on the tips, etc. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks for your support. Thanks for joining me on the channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.